We're back. Okay, some specialty blog here. Whew. Got a hot subject here. I'm going to go over it, and then you want to chime in with your comments. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, my subject is, we just saw Machida versus Shogun, which I made some comments in some earlier blogs about how, who I thought, if I had to pick one, scrap them. I'm still on the fence. I still think that was it was a draw, man. It was a draw. You have to look at things in a different context. You have to look at things in different ways in order to really cut out who the winner was of that match. You have to look at it from different aspects. Don't get me wrong. I'm not backing Cecil People. Cecil People sucks and it's not even because of the Shogun Machida fight. He sucks because he used to do boxing. And if you're doing boxing, and all of a sudden you're doing MMA, then I know he's been doing it a little while now. And that's fine and dandy. That's creamy and delicious or whatever. But you need to learn some things in order to, before you can just start judging MMA. Excuse me. So this is what my new thing is. It's my new idea is. I think the next match that needs to happen, not for Machida, for Shogun. Next match needs to happen for Shogun. Maybe not the next one, but it's got to happen at least in a few matches because we've seen him. He did a fucking awesome job. Period. He did a great job. And if he didn't make a draw in that match, he was behind by this much or whatever. I mean, we all have different opinions on it. So, that being said, I think the next real match for him needs to be Anderson Silva. Period. Mauricio Shogun Who versus Anderson Silva needs to happen. Period. Needs to happen. And if Dana doesn't have any balls to put it on, then you know what? What's going to happen is Silva is going to retire. Silva's going to retire. Whether Silva wants to take the match or not, I don't know. And that remains to be seen because it hasn't been brought about yet. But it needs to happen, period. Because there's nobody out there that has... Everybody said, okay, let's have a Machida versus Silva match. That would be awesome. That would be great. Yeah, they're friends, though. It's not going to happen. So who's the next best guy that pushed Machida past further than everybody else has and is defended and been more of an offensive fighter than everybody else has against Machida? Shogun. So you're telling me Shogun ain't a perfect candidate to take on Silva? Perfect. I'm sure he'll have no problem, going to light heavyweight or doing a catch weight, whatever, which Silva's no stranger to. Silva is the middleweight champion, but he moved up to light heavy in order to take on a couple of chumps, whatever. He took on Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson's gone. Dan Henderson's not going to fight Anderson Silva. Because, Dan Henderson himself, supposedly on the internet, said that, okay, I didn't sign with Strikeforce, but that's yet to be seen, And I suppose I shouldn't be the one to take Dana's word for it because Dana was the one that was guaranteeing that Dan signed with Strikeforce. Anderson Silva versus Shogun is a match that needs to happen. Shogun continued leg kicks against Machida, looked really good, never looked really tired. I mean, maybe that much, And Machida didn't look tired either. I mean, it was good. I don't care what anybody says. It was a good match. Machida did his normal thing that he does. And, yeah, he wasn't very active in that match, but he was defensive as all get out. Shogun could not, for the life of himself, get Machida on his back. Never. Never once did he even get him down on one knee. So, I mean, what does that tell you, man? Machida's got a superior stand-up game. You can't get him off his feet. You can't beat him on his feet. What do you got to say then? I think that Shogun did kind of get into Machida's head a little bit. I think he did. I think Machida was probably like, you know what? I got a real fight going on here, and I haven't seen this yet. So I don't want to say Machida overlooked Shogun, but I'll go ahead and say that Machida wasn't expecting probably such a hard match, especially being the way his two previous matches went. I mean, he fought a guy, Chuck Liddell. He fought a guy named Chuck Liddell that has gotten knocked out by everybody in the phone book under S. And, you know, no disrespect to Chuck. Chuck's been here a long time. He spent a good amount of time in Pride. Chuck is a fucking great fighter, man. He's an awesome fighter. But you know what? Well, let's get down to it, man. Not anymore. Not anymore. That's a whole other subject. So anyway, Shogun is the guy that has really pushed Machida beyond what everybody else has. And Machida's the only guy that I think, and a lot of other people think, is going to really push Anderson Silva to the edge. Patrick Cote had no problem doing it. You think Patrick Cote is going to size up to Machida or Shogun? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. He had no problem frustrating Anderson Silva, though. So I think Shogun coming in there with the right game plan, like he did with Machida, because he came in with the right game plan. It's just he didn't have enough rounds to pull everything off, in my opinion. He's a guy from Pride. He's used to having, you know, half-hour matches, you know, not that long, but he's used to having longer matches. I mean, I think for a while, Pride, he was dealing with, first round was 10 minutes. You know, that's the first 2 rounds of a championship match. You know, so I mean, if he goes into the second round, you know, so I'm just saying, so, like I said, man, it needs to happen. It's a match that needs to happen, and I think a lot of people on YouTube can agree with me. So jump on, hit the comment button. Let me know what you think about it, man. Totally, and hit the subscribe button. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Thanks for jumping in, and have a good day.